This is Jonah Hill, and you're listening to the only podcast that matters.
Before we get to the Brain Dead co-founder Kyle Ing, Lawrence, keep those motherfucking lights on.
Strong Fits and Blackstock and Weber are pleased to present their inaugural collaboration, The Only Loafers That Matter. That's fucking trademarked. Pre-order opens today, 12/15 at 11 a.m. EST for the Benchmade, storm-welted, Goodyear-constructed loafers that are made in a fourth-generation Northampton, UK factory, topped off with a trio of Tuscan suedes. That's, count it, moss green suede on the body. Count it, spicy mustard nubuck vamp. Count it, waxed snuff suede saddle. Count it.
The boys made a snuff loafer.
All finished off with a polished brass horse bit made in Japan, the motherland.
Nippon, baby.
This damn thing should have its own fucking passport, okay? The Only Loafers That Matter will be available for sale exclusively via a 72-hour pre-order. So that window opens today, 12/15 at 11 a.m. EST. The link is right in the show descriptions, right? Click that. And then that window slams shut on 12/17. And if you want to type in the URL yourself, it's blackstockandweber.com/product/throwing-fits. Okay. The loafer costs $295 with free shipping for all deliveries in the continental United States. And you can expect delivery first week of March 2021. And if it's not the first week, it's going to be the second week. Okay. It's early March 2021. Okay. So when you're leaving your house to get this fucking vaccine shot directly into your fucking dick hole, you're going to be
vagina hole
or whatever it is, you know, that you happen to have, but you're going to be wearing these loafers and you're going to be looking fucking fantastic. Blackstock and Weber recommends sizing down a half size. So for all you fucking babies listening, that means if you wear a 10, order a 9.5. Okay. Size down a half size. Throwing Fits times Blackstock and Weber. A better way to loaf, bitch.
Chef, start the motherfucking ep up. Throw Gang, we are joined by the graphic god, the cranial king, the cerebral sultan, the top he ain't sloppy because the brain dead, the baron of bouldering, Poseidon of the LA River, Malige of Magic the Gathering, lead singer of the Stokes, the head honcho of horror, star of the gritty reboot of Revenge of the Nerds. He goes hard in the motherfucking paintball, co-founder of Brain Dead, Kyle Ing. What's up, Kyle?
I thought we had cool audience applause at that, but it was kind of like,
ooh, yeah.
We'll do that in post.
Really, like, everyone just like quiet.
Yeah. So normally people get super hyped with that intro, but what you're saying is it was actually disappointing because we didn't pump in any crowd
noise. It made me feel like no one really cared, but it's all good. Thank you.
Well, this is just we're potting for one. We're potting just for your approval.
Sure.
In Lawrence's case, free Brain Dead.
Yeah, more free Brain Dead.
I actually paid you guys to be on this podcast. Like,
yes, that's true.
I actually sponsorship. Like, I'm like, yo, dude, you got to put me on. Get one post, dude. Come on.
Yeah, if in case the FCC is paying attention, Kyle did in fact pay. This entire podcast is #ad sponsored content.
Brain Dead partner.
So let's get that out of the way.
Gayaki. I had to do it for Gayaki.
Kyle, the first thing that we want to do, we're happy to have you. I think the 18 million listeners are going to be very stoked. But the first thing is we want to do a fit check where you walk the audience at home through the totality of your outfit. The choice for you, sir, is do you want to start top down or bottom up?
I'm going to go top up.
Top up? Top up? Bro, you're a disruptor, dude. Top up.
Top up, yeah. Hat. Done. Heaven, baby. God
wow. This is truly your podcast. You paid
hat,
for it.
Elon Musk, space.
Yeah. Okay. Who makes the hat? Who makes the hat? Brain Dead?
APC. Pink hat.
Really?
Yeah, APC, man.
Does it bother you that Jean Tuitu has been racist towards Asians in the past?
No. And, it's funny talking to him because when you actually meet him,
right,
it's like totally he's just the most un-PC guy ever.
Sure.
And like just like such an anarchist and crazy man that you kind of understand it.
He's French.
And not to like try to like validate him because he's the homie, but he's just like, it's really funny hearing him talk about it because like in any other world, you're like, dude, it's super fucked up. But then it's like, I don't know, man. They just don't get my humor. Like, it's just like, dude.
Wow. So
like,
he's like throwing fits in that regard. Damn. Maybe we might need to.
oh yeah, dude.
Dance.
I mean, over quarantine, he would send me like goofy ass, weird, like voice memos of him playing guitar of these like rock and roll songs. It's incredible. Like, he's amazing.
Does he play drums?
No, he plays guitar. Yeah, he just sent me drum solos. He just like, oh, I got a sick jazz shop I got set up.
Yeah.
No, he plays guitar really well. And he would send me, he'd just like, hello, Kyle. I hope your quarantine is great. I don't even know what that accent is, but he's like,
that sounds French Tunisian. I think you nailed it. Yeah.
Record the guitar with my cell phone, but here we go. And he like yeah, that was my foot playing record, and then his voice just turns into Lou Reed. It's insane. Like,
he's not just shredding; he's like legit performing for you.
It's like Ozzy Osbourne when he's just like senile to like metal god. It's like that's like Jean to like, you know, fucking Lou Reed. That's
okay. All right, good to know. All right, so the hat is APC, and I guess we'll just work our way down.
That is APC.
Yeah, APC, and then the shades. I guess also this makes you a cop. That's a bit on the show. Anyone who starts top down, you're a police officer. So.
I'm a narc, bro.
Yeah.
So APC, then Oakley's. We're rocking Oakley Speeds shades. I went blading earlier today, so I'm kind of grimy right now. I'm all about blading now.
You're sweating through the Zoom. We can smell you.
I'm wearing a, what does it say? Fear Nothing Gear t-shirt, and has this dude rollerblading on the back. Like, what's nerdier than like wearing the activity you're doing?
Sure.
Like, I remember like my grandma would buy me like a polar fleece vest, and it just have like a skateboarder on it, and it said Kyle, was like an embroidered skateboarder. And she's like, "Yo, this is fire!" Like, I know you. I mean, she didn't say fire. She was just like,
"This is neat,
fire!" Like in some Chinese
so
accent.
Neat.
Like, oh, fire skateboard! Like yeah,
was that John Tui too?
Kyle, I got it embroidered.
Your Jean Tui 2 impression is incredible.
Exactly. I have a Magic the Gathering jacket with a dragon on it. It's a Brain Dead.
That's the newest. That's the latest collab, right? Yeah.
Latest drop. And then my homies at Supreme down the street gave me a gift of these Supreme chinos with studs on them.
You're on Supreme Flow Team.
Yeah, I ride rollerblades for Supreme.
Right.
You're like
I'm a professional rollerblader for Supreme.
Were you ever aware of the Dipset inline skating team, Dipskate?
Dipskate was fire, dude. People forget. I mean, dude, Jim Jones, dude.
It was like his cousin, right, or some shit.
Yeah, it was his cousin. I got the triple XL Dipskate tee in the archives. If you ever want to make me an offer,
you got that clip of Jim Jones like, yo, I think I want to buy myself some rollerblades, and like that just opened the gate for all those dudes. I don't think I think Jim Jones said that once, and then like he didn't even know he had a team. They just all those guys were like,
sure.
yo, it's all good, bro. Dipskate, they all had chains and shit. And Jim Jones was like, I don't even know you guys.
Right.
Who the fuck
You're friends with my cousin, I think. Maybe
Yeah.
I met you at a cookout one time.
Told me weed at some point, and then gave you this chain by accident, or did I even give you the chain? Like,
as the captain of the Supreme inline skate team, is there a world where we see Brain Dead X Supreme?
Oh,
only on rollerblades.
right.
Yeah,
of course, exclusive.
Just hardware, just the hardware.
What kind of blades do you ride? I'm just curious. What is your setup?
I ride this company, them, dude. I decided over quarantine, like blades was the way, because like I remember doing it a long time ago when I was like
the way of the blade.
I was pretty fit back in the day. I had like a 6-pack, and as I got chubbier and fatter, I'm like, wait, that's because I was skateboarding. I was just doing slappies, and now I was like, dude, I'm gonna get the cardio in. I'm gonna go hard. It just felt like future looking. Like I looked at the Oakleys, I looked at the blades online. I'm like, dude, the combination, the holy trinity was happening.
Is there a way Lawrence and I can get on them flow team, because we actually have some blades in storage that we were going to use for a photo shoot with the homies at Bonobos, but it never worked out.
Right. So now they're just sitting on ice. So basically, Kyle, we have this concept. The next time that James and I do a photo shoot, whether it's for press or, a product or maybe even editorial, if any kind of glossy mags want to bang our line, we have blades from Amazon.com on ice ready to be broken out and used, but they're definitely not as cool as them blades. So we need
them is sick, dude. Them is really cool. I mean, I DM'd John Julio, who was like a Bay Area legend back in the day that I remembered. And he was like, yo, sick. We met up and we skated together, which is like really intimidating. but it was super fun. The funniest part is when I got the skates in the mail, I like went up to the white ledges that are like the famous white ledges that like Dylan Reeder fucking tail slid.
Okay.
And I'm like, I got this, dude. I fucking got it. And I just like pulled my fucking hamstring. I was like for like 2 months trying to do it. But I'm like, ate shit. I'm like, fuck. And like it was fucked up.
Are you normally like, do you normally shred, or are you like, you know, a novice enthusiast more than anything?
I mean, I would say I'm like a mediocre shredder. Like I could definitely shred, but not like, you know, like I'm skating with the pro. Like, I mean, blading pro is pretty crazy because it's so niche and underground. And like, I just skate with all of them now. And it's really cool because they're super supportive. I mean, I think just like the idea of you're on blades, there's like 10 people in the world that do it now, which is kind of the most punk rock shit ever.
Are there more bladers or professional soap shoes guys? What do you say?
I probably know more people who've soaped than blading now.
What about Heelys?
I mean,
it's kind of the in between of the two.
Equal. Yeah, I mean, dude, it's kind of funny though, because when I started posting the clips, like mad dudes came out of the woodwork. Like my homie Dom, who's in Mount Kimby, he's like, "Yo, let's fucking skate." Like we've never talked, but like, let's fucking go. I live in LA. What do we got?
Do you think there's an embarrassment to some degree, or like why people are like, why would people keep that close to the vest? Are they ashamed? What do you say? Or?
I think back in the day when like skateboarders used to call like bladers fruit booters or fags, it was just like everyone's like, "Dude, I'm not a fag. I'm so scared that people want to think I'm gay." And now it's like cool to be gay. So everyone's just like, I don't fucking care. Like,
right.
And also, I'm 34 now. It's like, who gives a shit what people think? And it's funny now because it's like a reset. Because I think it looks
great reset.
I think it looks sick, and I think it's fun. And it's just like, dude, every kid you see at the park is like, oh, that's sick. Like everyone's like, that's kind of awesome. And people don't even know what rollerblading was. So it's just like you just bring out this like weird futuristic shred tool. And they're like, dude, what is that? Like, you can ride, like,
bro, 8 wheels, not 4. Yeah, you got to get into boogie. You got to get into you got to get into dick dragging this. You got a boogie board instead of surf.
Ooh. I'm down, dude. I know. I got the surf mat, dude. I'm just fucking riding the surf mat.
Hell yeah.
You're like, it's like Doc Brown in Back to the Future, right? You're like the crazy old guy at the park, and it's like, yeah, what is this futuristic shredding technology? I wanted where we're going. We don't need, well, we need roads, paved roads, actually.
We need paved roads.
But yeah, you get the riff, yeah.
I mean, the thing, it's just tools for the shred, right? Like, I'll skateboard, I'll blade. Give me anything, dude. I'm going to rip.
You're agnostic. You're shred agnostic. You just want to, it is, shredding is a lifestyle, how it happens.
The ends justify the means. You're Machiavellian with the shred.
I mean, I just think about, like, if I'm listening to a 311 song or like a Limp Bizkit track, like what am I going to be doing? Like, I'm not going to sit here and just be online looking at clothes or fucking whatever or Instagram. I need to shred, bro.
Sure.
I need to fucking crush this shit. And
are you wearing?
The thing is, like, I'm hitting the Gayaki mates like 4 times a day. I got the energy. I need to exert it. What is it? It's going to be a blade. I'm going to skateboard it the same day. I'm going to hit the snow at Big Bear. Then I'm going to go paintballing. And then I'm going to go fishing right after to cool. It's a cool down.
The cool down. Yeah.
Are you wearing your skates right now?
Yeah. What's on the? What are
then on the ground, I got clogs, but I was on the blades.
Can we see the clogs? Can you hold them up? Can we see what you're working with?
Yeah, bro. The brain dead clogs, dude, with the Vibram sole.
Oh, very fucking spicy. I like that.
And those are fire.
What socks do you wear with those?
Just Nike socks.
Okay.
And the panties?
Fire.
Yeah. What's your underwear?
I think they're Hanes.
Boxer briefs? Boxers.
I'm a what's the jersey one? Boxer briefs?
What's jersey?
What do you mean? Like
the jersey one. The jersey one. Yeah.
Are they tight or are they loose?
Yeah.
No, I don't
cradle your dick and balls or
banana cabanas, the banana pods.
That's boxer briefs. Yeah.
I wear them looser.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the because Hanes has a loose ball fit.
Yeah, it's a dangle ones.
All right.
So it's kind of like a hybrid. Okay. All right. Respect, dude. That's a complete fit check. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate you.
Course, dude.
All right, Kyle. On to the meat and potatoes of the podcast. I think you're aware of this. The 3 main subjects of throwing fits, the only podcast that matters, are money,
ka-ching,
meats and cheeks,
sucking and fucking,
and most importantly, Jimmy and Larry, ourselves.
Goddamn motherfucking boys.
So let's start with ourselves. So Lawrence and I, we are at our very core just filthy grease goblins who thrive in the filth. You, on the other hand, I mean, you kind of just described it like you are 24/7, 365 in possession of the stoke.
1000%.
The Kyle Ing mentality is just next level. If we start subscribing to your like philosophy and perspective and outlook on life, will TF start operating at like the upper echelon tier level that Brain Dead is currently maneuvering on? Like it's a whole different plane of existence.
Mindset, dude.
It's about a zone. It's about a level of mental exercise and shredness that has to be studied, and you need to meditate over it, and you need to go do the Inland Empire and experience it, and mixing different energy drinks, whether they're
right,
Monster, Red Bull, and then
Java.
Right.
Java combo.
Wait, so like Viggo Mortensen in Eastern Promises, you live in the zone all the time. That's your cruising altitude always.
Are you ever like, because you're constantly like finding new hobbies, finding new scenes to explore? Are you ever just like, yo, I'm gonna just chill, I'm gonna just veg out on the couch and like fucking watch like 8 episodes of Succession?
You know what's funny is that like not really. And I get really bored, not bored really easily, but like even if I'm not doing that, I feel like I need to be doing some form of activity, or like I'm like on YouTube watching the activity like a fucking 10-year-old.
And that makes you feel guilty? That like makes you kind of question.
Yeah, I never veg out. That's it. Like I can't. And like I don't smoke weed, so I don't have that like tune down or chill mode. Like I think I'm always on it. Like always like, fuck, I gotta go. Like, in a day, it would be like I would paintball and then I'll go climbing at like Stony Point. Like, and it's pretty hectic, but it just feels right. Like it feels like, oh, whatever. If I have any ounce of energy, I'll do it.
You're the CEO of Bad Boy Records. Can't stop, won't stop. I mean, look at like just like what Brain Dead has done in the last year, right? You've opened new stores. You're fucking dropping mind-melting collabs every week. You started a Brain Dead movie theater.
Yeah.
You raised $500,000 and counting for charity. Collabed with Magic the Gathering, which was fucking out of left field. Like, do you ever get burnt out, or do you just are you always going to be fucking operating at this level?
Is that what the energy drinks are for?
That's definitely what the Gayaki is about. No, I think the thing about it is just like this sounds so corny, but it's like if you love what you do. No, I'm saying like if you enjoy, like if it's about like your lifestyle, it's just the most sincere shit. It's like, you know, like if you're really into stuff, you're going to want to involve that into your career or whatever you're making, right? So it's like if I'm like, yo, I've been playing a lot of fucking Magic with the homies. What if we made Magic shit? It's just like done, cool. Like, okay, that makes you not feel like you're wasting your time. And then like
you just DM like at Magic the Gathering. You're like, yo,
hit up some internet build, social media.
I find them on OnlyFans, dude. I send them coins, and then they come back with.
You tip well.
Yeah.
Wait, how's your OnlyFans tipping game?
20%? I don't really know how it works. Oh, you know, a funny thing is I found one of my ex-girlfriends on this porn site, and I found out she was a porn star. Nice. And then I logged in trying to find her, and like I found it through like a subreddit somehow. Someone told me about this, so I find it in this Reddit, and then I find she's on like Scoreland. I don't even know what it's called, but then I pay for it because I'm like, I gotta see this shit. This is hilarious.
You didn't want to just tap into the spank bank. You had to see it with your own two eyes.
I put $40 to it, but then I find out you had to pay another premium. So at the end of the day, I ended up paying like $100 to watch this like softcore porn where she doesn't even fuck any dudes. And
this is your ex-girlfriend too, which is
like,
the saddest part.
Like, I'm a cum slut or some shit. Like, and she just says that. It's like, ugh, and nothing happens. I'm like, dude, I just paid $100.
You supported sex work.
Yeah, you supported a sex worker, which is great. But back to your sincerity in all that you do. Is that your superpower, would you say? Like the fact that you like this sincere level of stoke, as James keeps calling it? Like, do you think that's your superpower?
Definitely. The energy's there, dude. We're ready. Whatever it is.
Ready.
Respect.
I mean, I named a few accomplishments, but like, you know, I think Brain Dead is an anomaly in that in a year where everyone kind of like had to figure out or navigate these unprecedented times, you guys are doing fucking crazy well. But if you had to look back on this horseshit year, which was a banner year for Brain Dead, like what was the one thing that the brand did that you're most proud of?
I mean, the most proud of, I think it's just like more like I'm pumped on the team. Like I think I'm like a crazy person, like super scatterbrained and just like, fuck it. Like whatever, dude, like whatever we gotta do. And the fact that the team could kind of like roll with that and just kind of like try to manage it, it's kind of chaos.
They're like, all right, Kyle says we have to collab with Magic the Gathering.
Yeah,
Who
it's like
knows? Who has a
handling
homie at
chaos.
Magic?
Yeah.
And like, I think that's what I'm most proud of, is just like the squad just like doing this. And I think it's more just like, I'll come up with some like weird, like sketchy concept to be like, oh dude, let's rethink this whole business. Like, what is the point of what's going to happen now? Right. Or like, how do we constantly push it where it's shit that's like so could fuck us up, but then let's try to go over the top. Like,
Wait,
that's
so
what things.
Is working for you like being an employee at Jurassic Park, where like you can't control the forces of nature, you can only hope to like contain it? Like, is
I mean, probably it's pretty Jurassic Park. At the end, like everyone survives, but
Well,
With Matt
not
Trauma.
everyone.
Yeah, not everyone, by the
Not
way. I don't know
Newman.
what version you saw. Yeah.
or maybe I feel like Mr. Magoo, where I'm just totally blind to everything that's happening. Like I'm like falling off a cliff, but then there's like a board just like under you. Just like,
Sure.
You're like
right.
Mr. Bean. You're like Mr. Bean.
Yeah, low key.
yeah,
You got
Mr.
Bean energy.
Bean. The brand is Mr. Bean.
You're
Like,
off of Bean.
I mean, we see all the wins, but like, has there been any time where you've like been like, no, we have to do this for the brand, and it did backfire where the brand, it did like set the brand back, or has it just been all W's for Brain Dead all
I don't think
2020?
there hasn't really been a setback. I mean,
Well, besides coming on the pod.
yeah, now this is the end of it. I think the main thing is, yeah, there really hasn't been a setback. I think the thing is like, if you just don't really think about it and take yourself seriously and like not really question like, is this the right move, or like, oh dude, like phase 1 is this, phase 2, you know what I mean, or what some bullshit. It's like nothing's wrong because there is no right or wrong. There is no like goals. We don't have goals achieved. It's just like, how do we push what we do to the next level? Like, I think that's the thing. It's like, what is the craziest thing we can do? Could we try it? And like, that's the whole thing that we have, is like, how fast can we make things? How fast can we do the most extreme thing? Like right now, it's like we have this movie theater, and it's based off this idea of like, what are the things in LA, if it left and it was gone, would we be super bummed if we didn't have it?
Brunch.
Right? During COVID, right? And the whole thing is, it's like movies like this theater that we're at right now is like groundbreaking for us. Like, this is where I learned about art house cinema. This is where I spent a lot of my times meeting cool people, and it was going to go under potentially. And we're like, dude, the main thing we want to do is support this culture and people around, and also offer a place for younger kids to expose themselves to great film and food. And we're going to have like lectures and talks and music and store. And, you know, ticket sales are not like movie industry, like selling tickets to a theater is dead. It's gone. But like, what if,
Thanks,
we
Warner
make enough
Bros.
money? Yeah. What if we make money off of, our clothes, and that could basically fund a movie theater? Like, that's the future. Right.
Sure.
And I think that's what we're trying to do, is always like think of things like really abstractly or conceptually, like, oh, how would a movie theater survive in the next phase of movies?
What's your ultimate double feature to show at a movie?
Hard, bro.
If you had to, I'm putting you on the spot. Do we ask hard, big questions only?
That's opening night,
Yeah. What's the double
day
feature?
and night.
And you're doing the
Day
programming,
and night.
just Kyle. It's like Kyle movie night. What's the double
Yes,
feature?
I mean, it's a genre. It's by genre.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Do you have a
Horror's your favorite.
Horror's your
right?
favorite genre, right?
Not even like maybe like psychedelic science fiction shit.
Okay.
So
I mean,
what
I would do like, I really like, this would be kind of great. I mean, I love Alien, and I love Alien Resurrection, which
Ooh.
is hated upon one. But I like that combo because one was done by the dude who did Amelie, and I think that movie's genius, but everyone hated it. But I think people need to revisit it.
That's Resurrection you're talking about, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
Resurrection's incredible.
Fincher did the third one. James Cameron did the second one, and Ridley Scott did the first one. And then the guy from
Yeah, David Fincher's is dog shit. Like literally dog shit. Like
He hates
I'm
it
like,
too.
Oh, I'm gonna go back to it. This is fire.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is
Go to
dog
Weiner. Go tell Fincher that.
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
Fincher, yeah, he needs help.
Wait, real quick, Kyle, I want to talk about, you talked about like moving fast and the speed at which Brain Dead tries to do cool stuff. Have you ever felt the need to like does the speed ever affect the quality? Obviously you want to do both these things. You want to move fast and you want to, move with a high level of integrity, but do you ever have to sacrifice one for the other because of like how fast you would like to move?
Honestly, not really. I think honestly, sometimes like the more you think about it, the more you're like, oh, we gotta get this dial. Like, when people like I always say, like, it just becomes more expensive, if anything, for yourself to make it. But usually it's more quality. Like, I think the person who can move fast usually has it dialed for the most part. You know what I mean? But, you know, I feel like sometimes I personally feel the best when I feel stress or feel like I'm trying to push it to the next level. And, you know, it's like you're so exhausted by trying to like do something at the most extreme form that you're like, wow, that was really gratifying.
Did you learn? Cause like, obviously like you only have your own experiences, but it sounds like this summer, during like the, you know, social unrest and BLM, you guys were trying to do shit, and it felt like you ran into a bunch of obstacles and walls and hurdles where people are like, yo, slow down, Kyle. Like, does this fit into the brand strategy here? I'm not talking about the brain dead homies. I'm talking about like third party people, and you're just like, yo, fuck you guys. I'm gonna link up with my guy Dev Hines. But did this kind of put into relief how fast brain dead moves?
Yeah, I think it was more kind of just like, you know, whatever, like I'm not even trying to shit on other brands of the people I talked to about doing collaborations for this project to raise money. But I think a lot of people do work on the idea like being self-conscious, or like, oh, I don't know like how people are going to perceive me. Like, I don't know if this is the right thing because it's like a sensitive topic. But like, I know I'm not racist. I know that I'm like really angry at this shit. I know like there's fucked up shit with police. So let's do something. Like, I don't understand like, you know, action is just like how you feel. It's just like, I'm going to do what I feel at the moment, and there's not going to be anyone to stop me. And if I feel a good thing, like, oh, dude, what if we did this with this brand and we raise all this money? Like, that should be a no-brainer. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, it's just like, yo, this is a no-brainer. Let's do it. Like,
it's not trusting your gut, right? Like,
I don't care if people are like, oh, dude, like, I don't get like why, you know, like, dude, you can't speak for this, or like, oh, dude, I'm not sure if that's the right thing, or like, oh, we're unfollowing you, dude, because like, you know, like you guys are just like PC or whatever. It's like, I don't give a shit. I don't want to be with you guys. Like, fuck you guys. Like,
welcome.
I don't really care.
Yeah,
like,
we felt
people
the same
are
way.
so sensitive about like, is anyone like, you know, like people like write stuff on Instagram like, oh, I don't like this. This is whack. And they're like, oh, dude, yeah, fuck those guys, man, for saying. I'm like, dude, I don't care what these people think. Like,
you should see this email this one kid sent me for blocking his ass because he's a Trump supporter.
Yeah, dude, it's insane. And end of the day, it's all good, dude. Like, I love people who support it. If you don't support us, it's all good too, man. Like, but you know, I'm just going to do what I want to do, and I really just don't care. Like,
yeah, and look at the results. Like the Dev Hines collab raised $500,000. Right, which seemed like two homies just linking up. Obviously, that collaboration like stood out just for the impact it had. But was there another collab? And because you guys do collabs all the time in 2020, that stands out to you as maybe your favorite of the year?
Yeah, or is that like picking children?
So many projects. I mean, the thing about the collabs, I think a lot of brands use collabs as like these are like collaborations, but like almost 90% of our product is a form of collab, which is just built into our nature of our business, which is that branded is more of a concept, right? So like I look at like making stories, right? Like when you make a film, you're collaborating with like a director, a cinematographer. It's like the final product is what it is. And that's what branded is. It's not just me. It's not my partner. It's really this concept of like, this is its own identity. And that's why hopefully it feels authentic, is because we're just curating it as though it was a person with tastes in food, art, culture, music, whatever. And we're sculpting the body, right? And that's why, like, it's like, oh, what do they have in their house? What's the, you know, what kind of products do they need? Who do they climb with? I think, I mean, if we're going to think of something, I think what I really loved this year was the shit that was like, well, let's go into activities. Let's talk about activities, because a lot of people are getting fucking lazy. And like, you know, like whatever, like clothing is cool, like, you know, menswear is cool and all that. But like at the end of the day, I feel like you need to be doing an activity. And that was like why skateboarding was so cool, right? And like why streetwear was even cool was like, you know, my friend Oliver Payne is like, dude, I don't get these kids in line. Like, go fuck someone. Go try to get fucked. Or like, go take some drugs or do graffiti or like skateboard somewhere. Or like, you know, go make music. But like at the end of the day, if you're just like buying shit to buy it, it's like, that's a culture, I guess. But like, you know, we don't need like junior stockbrokers in the
stasis
world.
Is the enemy, is what you're saying, and that kind of complacency. This is late stage capitalism, dog.
Consumerism can't be its own culture. Like transacting, transactions isn't fucking culture.
Yeah. Copying can't be the activity. And I know this is rich coming from James and myself, the co-hosts of Throwing Fits, a podcast about copying shit. But I think that is true, and we try to like get that across.
Yo,
like,
I took Lawrence rock climbing for his first session ever, and he fell in love with it. And he's like,
got a couple fucking flappers and shit. It was good.
But that's the thing is like, whatever, like, dude, like we just want to show different worlds and cultures that like we love, like climbing. It's like, dude, making an Evolve climbing shoe was my dream, is to make a climbing shoe. It's like, dude, what if that happened? And then being able to work with like working with Ashima Shirashi, like the best woman climber in the world. Like, yeah,
her best dad, goat.
Yeah, it's like just doing the North Face collaboration was like, oh my god, this is have her. But that's one thing, right? That's like very like surface level. Like, dude, she's on my thing. This is like taking a photo with someone like, yo, we're cool, right? I'm like, but what if we made a shoe and that was her shoe? And like, what if a brand like us could bring exposure for our consumer into climbing, right? And like, what if we could bring our aesthetic to that world? But what if we had one of the best climbers climbing in that shoe all the time? And then moving forward, what if we created an organization where then we gave back to underprivileged kids to be able to have access to climbing? So it's not only are we then interacting with the sport, but we become hopefully helping the activity and making it better, right?
A vessel through which to push the activity in the community forward.
Yeah, it's like the rollerblading thing. It's like skateboarding's already cool. Like everyone knows. I mean, it's fucking like Nigel Houston's getting paid millions of dollars, like to wear a Monster Energy drink hat. And like for me, it's like, dude, rollerblading, no one gets paid. So like the pros are doing shit, they're not paid. It's like, how cool it'd be to like just take it for the team and just be like, yo, what if we did what if we could figure out how to make rollerblading cool? Like, or making it like interesting and expose it to a new community who's like, whoa, that is kind of fire. And like, some people will be like, oh yeah, tech shoes are cool. Or like, like Demna makes trail running shoes cool or whatever. And it's like, that's so, I mean, it's cool. And everyone loves it, but it's like, at the end of the day, it's just fashion.
It's not authentic.
No, it is authentic to him because that's his world. But I'm just saying it's fashion, right? Like it's pushing aesthetics. But what I'm more interested in is like, what if we can help push like movements of activities or like interests and hobbies? Like that's what I like. It's like, fashion's cool. Like my style or what we make apparel wise is just the style of a lifestyle, the way like, streetwear is that for skateboarding or music or whatever. We're trying to make clothes for that, but the clothes are secondary to like pushing movements of like, whether it's skateboarding or Magic the Gathering or eating good food or cooking or like whatever that is, movie, like studying film, like that's where we want to be at. And I think that's, like making it harder and harder and challenging ourselves to like really dive deep into these subcultures and worlds. Like, let's make a rollerblade. Let's make a skate.
Yeah.
That'd be
admirable. This is why people fuck with you, dude. This is like an admirable ethos,
And Kyle, like I love the positivity, but what is life if not a thing of balance? So let's get negative for a second. What was the collaboration in 2020 that, in your opinion, bricked the hardest?
Bricked the hardest.
That didn't hit.
What didn't hit?
Whether, I mean, that's your way of defining it, whether it was monetarily, whether it was just the final product, you're like, I'm not actually feeling this, whether it just didn't fucking resonate, but maybe it did make money.
That's a good question. Let me get back to, I'll definitely think about that. I mean,
how about this?
I love all the collaborations, not to be like lame, but it's like, I loved all the collaborations. I think the main thing was like, I love the North Face product we launched, but I think it was I was not happy the fact that we couldn't do any like physical events around it. So
because of COVID?
To me, it was like actually better product than the first round, but I felt like because of COVID, like it was all about the experience. So it's like the first round we had like the band Drug Dealer to play at Dover Street, and we had this huge installation and videos. And then, this round, it was just like, okay, there's no marketing budget. There's nothing.
Right.
Which is fine. Like, I totally understand it. But it's more just like, we can't do an event. Like, we can't do whatever. And that's a bummer.
It's a missed opportunity.
Because like, at the end of the day, it's like, it's product to me. It's like, cool, it'll sell out or sell, whatever. Right. But like, I'm not that interested in products. Like, I'm interested in these like experiences within that world. Like, I could see one of my favorite bands perform, and then I could see people there interacting with it. And yes, they're getting the goods, but the goods are just supporting what we can do with content. You know what I'm saying? Or like, or not content, but like
an experience.
Yeah.
Do you have a dream collaboration just like on your wish list that, hopefully one day does happen? Like, do you want to just say it right now and manifest it?
Dyson.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Can you talk to us about what a potential, I don't know if you want to give the sauce away, but do you want to engineer a new vacuum from scratch?
Or is it a hair dryer? Is it an air?
If Dyson fucks with us, I'm just psyched. Like, I have so much. I mean, I have Dyson on. I have like a heater on me that's a Dyson, and then I'm purifying the air from the heater with a Dyson. So it's through tunnel at me through Dyson. It's like
the Cadillac of vacuums, baby.
You got long hair. Do you blow dry your hair with a Dyson blow dryer?
My ex-girlfriend stole that.
Damn.
The porn star?
The sex worker?
No, unfortunately not. But yeah, I paid it back at this point.
Yeah, right.
Extra, yeah. But real quick on that porn thing, the funniest part about that is like my password was the name of my dog, Ziggy Starpaws. And so I get all these like weird viral messages on my emails like, hey, Ziggy Starpaws, how are you doing, sexy? Like, and then like it's supposed to sound like it's me. So they're like, oh, just like, you know, hey, you want to come in me, Ziggy Starpaws? I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like,
damn, dude. I mean, that's not even that good of a pun, not to be a dickhead, but like
when the sex worker or cam worker is like, hey, Ziggy Starpaws, is your dog like,
Yeah.
From the other room?
My dog like, and then, yeah, it's super weird. But
all right, well, let's talk about Brain Dead because you kind of mentioned how it's a collective and how everything you put out is, in a way, a collaboration. A lot of kids in the 18 million listening around the world at home, for any aspiring artists or designers, like, how can they join the fucking gang?
I don't know, man. I mean, it's just like interacting in some form. Like, you know, we just love the idea of like having more cultural spaces like this theater. Like, we're opening a store in Harajuku next year, and that's
shit, congrats.
Hopefully house NTS, as I'm saying this, like they're like, fuck you. No, but I mean, like, we're gonna hopefully do NTS radio out of there in Japan, and then have a little movie screening area and cafe. And then we're gonna open a store in London at some point next year, and then we have the Milan store. So, you know, we're constantly just figuring out ways to have cultural hubs that are not just stores,
right?
But like are places where you experience music or food, or, you know, every spot should feel different. Like, this is the movie theater. Like, what if there's a climbing gym somewhere? What if there's a paintball field? I'm just saying, like, what if there's everything should be different? Because at the end of the day, you know, like, as a branch to look at it, your cash register is online, right? It's like you can buy most of the stuff. So how do you make these experiences special? Like, to me, it's like, okay, you go to Brain Dead Studios, you can maybe buy exclusive stuff here, right? But at the end of the day, what we're mostly pushing is like, it's a movie theater. You come here to watch films, and then you understand what we like. And we're starting to make films, actually, and make animation. So, like, that's a big part of next year, just making literally films that have nothing to do with product. You know? And that's a big part. That's our experiment. It's just like, okay, we're going to have this place to just put, you know, whatever stake in the ground to be like, okay, this is saying we're serious about making media.
Are there any brands right now that you're looking to, maybe not, obviously you're not like copying anybody exactly, but like, do you look at any brands that are kind of, you know, doing this, like creating this global community that is impressing you? Or is this something that you think the market is completely missing?
I mean, I think it's just like, I think the thing is like, as much as people might think we're a streetwear or fashion brand, I think it's more interesting to think of us like a lifestyle media company that has really good merchandise, like really well-made merchandise. Like, that's what I want to be. I want to be like the way you think of Disneyland or Disney, and then you're like, but the merch is always fire.
Sounds like a podcast I know.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, I look at more like Disney, and I'm like, yo, like the whole thing about Disney is like you experience it via Disney World, Disneyland, you know, the animations, the movies, the TV shows, and then you go to Disneyland and then buy the merch, right? And the thing about it, it's just not even like a consumer-based thing. You're not going there to like cop merch. It's just that you want to pull something from that world. Like, I need those Mickey ears because that's
something tangible to take with you. Yeah,
exactly. It's just it's a relic of a symbol of a feeling, right, that you have. And that's what I want Brain Dead to be, is like, you know, I think when people buy band merch, it's not that they're like, oh, you got to cop the band merch. It's more just like, dude, I love this band. I want to remember this show. Yeah. Or I rep this thing that I love conceptually, right? Like, I love this band, and people I meet are like, yo, this is cool. Like, I love, you know, that you love that. And I think the problem right now is that a lot of people, all the brands are trying to be so universal. right? And be like, appeal to everyone, like every mainstream person. Like there's no subculture right now, or there is, but like it's like streetwear is not a subculture. It's the mainstream thing. So as that becomes more mainstream, it's like, I don't mind, like I love Marvel films, but like imagine like seeing a premiere of a Marvel film at the theater and then seeing like some crazy art house cinema too. And it's the idea that highs and lows, it doesn't matter, but it's just taste. It's just like what you're into represents who you are as a person, your identity. And that's what we want to do, is have people feel comfortable being themselves.
Bob Iger, bang our fucking line. Kyle, I feel like you've been dropping literally nothing but gems for the 30 minutes that we've been potting or so. And it seems like Brain Dead can do no wrong. However, that being said, not to bring you down or piss on your parade or anything, you and I, we became friends when you were pushing two brands called Farm Tactics, your IG handle, and Axis Folk Tech, which in my opinion was way ahead of its time, and you should bring it back.
Gone but not forgotten.
You know, and these ultimately didn't take off for whatever reason, but like what lessons do you take from, and this is kind of the thesis of our old podcast that shall not be named, what lessons do you take from the brands that failed into Brain Dead, that, you know, you want to fucking cast these pearls before the 18 million swine listening?
Before swine, yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, with Farm Tactics, I was just a child. Like, I was literally a kid. Like,
don't be young.
The fact that shit happened was, like, I look back on it, I'm like, oh my God. Like,
how old were you when you started Farm Tactics?
I mean, I was like 24 or something, but the way I did it was insane. Like, it was the time when like all my family lost all their money and I was so flat broke. I got a credit card, and this guy who was a manager of Giant Robot in San Francisco was like, dude, I'll invest in a company. I got $10,000. When we started Farm Tactics, I was making like these vintage repurposed bags, and somehow I got into blank t-shirts, like making like basic slub t-shirts or whatever. And I didn't know how to make one fucking thing. I didn't know how to draw. I don't know how the shit. I actually don't know how I made this stuff, which is funny. Like I'm like, wait, how did I get to making t-shirts?
Does it feel like a fever dream when you think back?
It didn't exist.
Yes, because here's the craziest thing. And I got to thank everyone who helped me this time. My friend Rhino, he used to work at Union. I mean, he would take me downtown I don't drive. Okay, so think about this. I live in like near Fairfax. I don't drive. And somehow I got to downtown LA every fucking day. So the amount of like people driving me every day with like homies, like take it, like, now I'm like, fuck, I should apologize. Like I'm like a drug addict. I should apologize to them. Like, yo, I'm a shitty friend. Like somehow I convince you to drive me every day to run my company. But I ran a company via free rides from homies, taking me to figure out how to make t-shirts where I had no idea how to do it. And then I get calls from like, dude, at this time, it was like, I didn't drive. So like the only way I knew about stores was walking through the blocks and be like, hey, will you carry Farm Tactics to the most dude? I mean, I didn't know anything.
Door-to-door John salesman.
I was selling to the weirdest fucking stores. And the only thing that made sense was like, I walked into Kraft randomly, which is a store owned by this guy, Pete. And it was the first one of the first Americana stores, right? So they were carrying like Red Wings or some shit. Like, I didn't forget what they carried, Mark McNary or some stuff. Like, it was just very like Americana. And they're like, oh yeah, we'll carry this. And it's the first like normal menswear. I'm like, oh, this is fire. I'm like, where else should I sell to? They're like, yo, like you should sell to like Brooklyn Circus and then Union Made. I'm like, what the fuck is that? So the only way I go to San Francisco is I go up because I'm visiting my parents and I go to Union Made. This is the craziest shit.
R.I.P.
Think about this is insane because I would have never picked up my stuff. I have a backpack, right, that I made, and I'm just shoved all my samples in like a mini backpack because I have a JanSport bag. And I go up and like, hey guys, like, do you know Todd? Is Todd here? Someone told me Todd.
Shout out Todd Barkett, right? Yeah, shout out
Barkett. He comes out. I'm like, hey dude, I have a brand called Farm Tactics. Do you want to check it out? Like the grimiest dude. Like if anyone ever did that to a store, I'd be like, yo, get the fuck out of here. Like I look like a crackhead probably.
You're slinging mixtapes out the trunk, basically.
Dude, I open the thing. They're all wrinkled. Like I just have them in a bag, like a bunch of t-shirts and like bags just crinkled up. He's like, oh yeah, I'll carry them. All my labels are hand stamped because I don't know where to make labels. I'm like stamping muslin labels, just like fuck. They're all fucked up. And I'm like, whatever. And he buys it. And I'm like, holy shit. And then every store from there started carrying it because of him. And I had to give it to him like to make that brand. And then we got like the Levi's collaboration. And then I did a whole thing for fucking what's that brand, dude? Orvis. Orvis ordered like 5,000 t-shirts.
You're like,
And,
oh
like,
shit, how do I make 5,000
Yeah, how do you
t-shirts?
I was, dude, my dad then helped me in the company. He's like, I got it. He's never made apparel in his life. And dude, we lost by 5,000 t-shirts. You know what I mean? Like the amount of money I lost on that, I'm like, I'm fucking broke. Like it was insane. Like, yay, we sold all this, but I'm broke. And dude, to make, I mean, it is so crazy. Like the original tote bags I made for Levi's, I found this like material and it smelled like barf because it's like vintage nylon from this like vintage, like repurposed store. And there's like yards of nylon and they're beautiful because they're like the seconds where it's like the change of gradients from the nylon colors. And they were amazing. And I just basically was like, yo, what if I just cut up all these and then we just place the colors and make them all different. And then I'll use my dad's old rock climbing rope to make the handles. And I was cutting them in my fucking kitchen and burning each end and tying them to these like barf smelling nylon bags. But the nylon, I laid them all out in my backyard. So all the bags were sitting in my backyard for like months as I'm setting them. I washed them multiple times at like a laundromat down the street. It was so insane. Like this brand was so fun. And I'm making like 500 of these bags. I'm just like, oh my God. Like, and it's popping off. They're selling at Levi's like nonstop. I'm just like, dude, I don't even know what I'm doing. And at the time, I was still losing money every fucking day because I'm like, I don't know how to run a business.
Right.
And so then whatever, the Japanese love farm tactics, like Beams carried a lot. I met this guy. They're like, let's start another brand, an outdoor brand. I'm like, cool, this is great. I'm flat broke, so this is the perfect time for me to do this. And
Axis Folk Tech.
Awesome. Axis Folk Technology happened, and it was all based off this idea of like what it says, folk technology. What does that mean? So yeah, it was just like, yo, it's time to make really crazy gear that like represented this, and is like super like science fiction menswear, I guess.
Was it a climbing brand though? Like I have climbing pants still.
I mean, I wish it. See, the thing is, I should have done more just straight up climbing shit. But I was like, yo, I'm gonna be fucking cool and like designery. And like, you know, I was going through the capsule trade show world where I met James, right. And it was cool. People loved it, and I sold to great stores, and it was doing good. But like, you know, to be honest, like menswear, it's hard to run a business because you're selling expensive shit. But if you don't, you know, at the end of the day, like how many people want to buy a $240 pant, right? And it's just like you're battling it out. And like, then you realize that's what it is. It's like you have the item that's that. And like, I just realized that I just had no interest in that, to be honest. You know what I mean? I just was like, dude, I'm grimy. I'm a grimy dude. Like
You're
climb all day. Like, I don't need to like dress super clean. I'll fuck my shit up. And, you know, at the time I was doing Axis Folk Technology, I became the special projects manager for Urban Outfitters. So this is a crossover from Farm Tech. So I'm flat broke. I'm like, I'm fucking broke. I got like fucking canker sores all over my mouth. I'm like so stressed. And I remember I did this pop-up store called Field Study where I was selling like Me, Ether, Gramici, like whatever. And it was with Urban Outfitters. And it's supposed to be like a not brain dead, Farm Tactics pop-up store. And the CEO was like, hey, like, I think you should work for me because I need you to conceptualize this outdoor concept called Without Walls. And it was their outdoor fitness idea, right, at the time when everything was popping. And that's when I also got access. I'm like, cool, I'm rich. No, I'm just kidding. No broke. And I'm like, I have all this shit. I'm working on this collection. I'm working for Urban Outfitters. And like Access, like the Japanese partners, they're like, we need to make $1 million first season. I'm like, fuck, like this is not happening. And then it just was a thing where the Japanese partners didn't really, you know, like everything I was trying to make, I thought they're going to hook it up because they had like fabric companies. But then I'm like, oh yeah, let's use these crazy wools. And then you're like, okay, what's the price per yard? $40 a yard. I'm like, fuck. Like everything was just so expensive. I'm like, dude, there's no way we're making money. Like, I don't know how to do it.
I think the takeaway here is you're not good with money.
Yeah.
I'm horrible with money.
Are you still broke now? You're good now.
Not broke. I'm finally not broke.
We'll get to that later.
Congratulations.
I think like,
long story short,
another thing about Axis Folk Tech is that it had like a very niche like direction, right? And a niche appeal. And I think the beautiful thing about Brain Dead is that like it's so wide, like it almost occupies its own tier. And that like whether you're a fucking Magic the Gathering nerd or a climber or like a streetwear kid or a fashion kid, like you can find Brain Dead that works for you. and we've seen Brain Dead even resonate among fucking like A-listers. Like what goes through your head when you see a guy like Kanye West wearing Brain Dead?
I mean, now, not that much because,
Yeah.
I'm psyched. I mean, it's cool. I mean, he's a nice dude. It's just like, it's cool. I'm psyched when people support it and wear it. And at the end of the day, it just feels good that people are supporting it. Like for me, I'm not like the guy who's going to post it on like Brain Dead. Kanye West wearing Brain Dead on Instagram. Like that's corny as fuck to me. Like I hate that shit, dude. It's like, I made it, bro. Like these celebrities are wearing our gear. I'm like, bro, like I'm the antithesis of a celebrity. Like I'm like, that's not my culture. It's like celebrity culture. Like we know a lot of people who like might be celebrities or whatever, but like I respect them for their craftsmanship or their art or whatever they're doing. Like not because they're famous. And like, I'm not someone who's like, yo, back us because of that. Like Dev Hynes is someone that I really respect because it's like when we asked to do it, he comes from a punk background. So like when I asked him to do like this t-shirt, it was not even a thought process. He's like, I'm pissed. Let's fucking do it. Like
Right.
I fuck with that. Like I just like people who like, I respect their craft. Like, you know what I mean? And that's it. It's a group of people that like, you know, I think if we do work with someone like a bigger name like that, I just want to show people like, yo, when you put these two people that you didn't think were doing it, but maybe successful, doing something interesting, whoa, we can do that? Like, or we're like, you know, like a lot of the things I try to do is like pushing the limits of what they do and what we do, and then somehow making something new, if that makes sense. The idea of just, I'm like, Brain Dead, worn by fucking like, I don't know, Bad Bunny. I don't know.
That'd be sick, though. That'd be sick.
dude.
That'd be fire. But that's it. Like, I don't know a song by Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny.
That's the thing. I wrote that thing where it's like, I don't know one Grateful Dead song.
Right.
Because I don't. Like, but
Right.
you know,
Well, they suck. So
no, they reached out to me and I'm like, reached out to us to do a collaboration. I'm like, dude, I'm down with the aesthetics. Like, it's cool. Like, I'm not even hating. I just don't know it. So it's like, we're just not a brand that's going to be like, oh yeah, dude, this is it. We got it. $1 million. Like, I'm rich.
No cash grab.
celeb culture is not an authentic part of you or Brain Dead. So that's what you're. So is there anyone like that you would actually like really want to see wear it? Like someone that you are such a fan of that hasn't, or do you not even give a shit at all?
I mean, it's a cool feeling for the second. Like if Larry David is wearing it, I'm like, that's fire.
Right.
But like, I'm not like, you know, it's not like forever. Like we got it. Like
You're not chasing that. Like a lot of brands chase that, right? They chase the cosign. Like that to you, from celebrity specifically, that to you is never something. That
I mean, we also live in LA, so it's just kind of like you see it every day, and it's just like, you know, whatever celebrities can wear all the time. It's not even like, take that off. Like, it's like, no, it's cool, man. Like I'm down. Like, but it's just like not the thing we're trying to promote. Like,
Take it off, Bieber.
Like, I'd be more psyched if it was like, yo, Kanye West wanted to do a lecture here and talk about his music or something, right? Like, and that's a Brain Dead event, or like Kanye West wanted to do like an architectural thing. You know what I mean? Something weirder. Like,
yeah,
that's cool. Not just like he's wearing our good. Look at us, dude. We made something. Get a guy who makes music lights.
Right.
But as the brand grows, as the offering grows, and you do get the mainstream celebs and celeb culture like dipping their toes into it, I guess like as the business grows, when you hear things like, and again, you're terrible with money, so this might be a question for your homie Wilson to your right there. But when you look at a brand like Supreme selling for $2 billion or Stone Island for $1.5 billion, like does that catch your attention? Or do you ever just like, wait a second, like there's
and I'm like, Kanye,
fuck you money. Yeah.
What's going on?
What's up, dude? Yeah, dial them up.
No, I think that's cool. You know, congratulations to those guys. That's sick because it's like they work super hard, and I think, you know, Supreme is a brand that like, you know, everyone talks about like, oh, Supreme. You know, it's funny. Every brand like that brings up Supreme is like, we gotta do it like Supreme. Like we go, like you're not Supreme. Like it's not like a business model. Like 10 ways of being like Supreme. Step 1. Like, get a bunch of skateboard kids. Step 2, make a bunch of exclusive drops. Like,
it is a complex article, though. I promise you that much.
Yeah, but it's insane because it's like, dude, they did what they did and they spent a lot of time doing it. And like, just the way Stussy is successful now, it is a heritage product of a time in a period.
Yeah, 40 years now.
Distinctively them. Like, they never talk about streetwear because they promote Sean Pablo and Aiden Mackey and these kids who are just like, not streetwear, they're skaters. And like that's why it always feels sincere, is because they're never pushing something that I feel is not authentic to who they are in their DNA. And I think the thing that's hard to touch them is that they are a brand that it's hard to not make timeless, because they're always pushing the right things, in my opinion. You know what I mean? And when they get bought out is because they have a model of, okay, just keep on doing the right things. Like, you know, it would be really fucked if they started like now just trying to make money and started promoting it in some weird ways. But I don't think there's any issue if they make more product that doesn't sell out, if they actually have inventory. Like,
Right.
you know, that's how they're going to make their money, is that they're going to like make 1 million Supreme hats or something. That's fine, because just like Disneyland,
Right.
it represents something, and that's
Sure.
fine. I think it's going to be harder when people who don't have a connection to New York or the, you know, skate culture or whatever, it just becomes so diluted. That's when people are not going to want to wear it.
I mean, honestly, though, the one parallel I do see between Brain Dead and Supreme, and not that you're like pushing for this, but it's that, you know, Supreme, when they do something like a collaboration with like Nan Golden, all of a sudden like 1 million fucking kids are gonna, you know, Google that artist, right? And like when you guys like all of a sudden are working with whether it's an artist or a certain subculture or another brand, you're bringing attention and exposure to like this scene that you genuinely find interesting. Right? Or that you respect the art, the work of this artist or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, that's the main thing, is like, I think for what we do, it's like, we did this t-shirt for this movie screening we did actually at this theater for Happiness. I'm not sure if you've seen it. It's a Todd Solondz film. It's a really fucked up dark comedy. Like, there's pedophiles, there's like guys who like cold call girls to like, and they like jack off and shit. Like, it's like an insane movie. Like, some like weird shit goes down in the movie.
For real with that?
It's super dark.
Sure.
But like, you know, Daniel Clowes did the front cover of the movie, and like, I love this fucking movie. Like, it's one of my favorite movies ever. Todd Solondz is a genius. But like, showing that, I'm like, is anyone going to fucking come to this movie? Like, and it sold out. We made a t-shirt we sold like 200 of this t-shirt of this fucked up movie, and kids sat down to watch the movie. Some people left because they're like, it was really fucking extreme. But like, a lot of people loved it, and like, whoa, that was cool. And now you could find that t-shirt for like $200 on like Rail, which is hilarious to me. But at the end of the day, it's like, you can't stop that, right? But what you can do is that, like, I think you could reverse engineer culture and be like, hey dude, people want to cop shit, right? Cop it. But at the end of the day, try to understand where this comes from. Like, we started selling a lot of things. We made this, you know, we do branded records, and every t-shirt we did, we had a cassette with it. And like, a lot of kids are not going to buy cassettes. But if you gave them a cassette with a t-shirt, then maybe it might, maybe it'll push them to listen to music like that, or like buy a cassette player and be in tune with a new form of media. And I think that's really cool. So I think it's more of our job and our responsibility, no matter what, is like sneak something in, right? It's like, yeah, it's an extra $1 to make a cassette, but like, fuck it. Like, at least maybe that'll change their lives. Just like the way a lot of things changed my life when, like, you know, I saw like Architect magazine or some shit, and it was like, I bought the magazine and you got like a little gift or whatever, and you're like, this is sick. And like, I think I just keep on looking back to things that inspired me, and like, I just want to kind of bring it to a new generation, I guess.
I think there's a difference between what you're talking about, which is like exposing this stuff, versus things that are associated with your brand and you that also like independently like blow up. So like, for example, this idea of like climbing and hiking and gorp culture that's having a moment right now. Do you also appreciate that, this kind of like barrier of entry being like either lowered or like completely removed? Or is it weird that there's like posers involved? Like, how do you feel if you're like, you're not playing a direct part, you're associated, but this thing is like blowing up and it's kind of like out of your control? How does that make you?
I see, the thing about it, I don't want to, I think there's a difference between being an elitist,
A gatekeeper.
A gatekeeper. And I think that's fucked up too, man. Like, I think it's like fucked up when people talk shit on like, whatever. Like, I think it's fucked up when people are like, yo, like, why are all these black kids wearing fucking Minor Threat t-shirts? I'm like, that sounds really weird. Like, like at the end of the day, I'm like, you know what? Cool if they just like that graphic, but hopefully that gets them into new music. Sure. Like, let's just think about the positivity of it, right? It's like, so many kids are wearing crazy punk shirts or rock shirts. So many people are like, there's so much access to music, and whether you like trap, hip hop, or SoundCloud rap, like, that's up to you. But like, that just shows there's access to making content. So all I can work on is creating avenues in my world that pushes the boundary of what I think is cool. So it's like, let's show good films and not show fucking, Big Lebowski only at midnight, or like, Back to the Future over and over again, or Home Alone, right? Like those are cool, but like we're not trying to just show fucking the obvious, or like show the obvious films. We want to show challenging movies. And like, for me, like that's what I would want, as a kid, or like even as an adult, is to have a place where like I'm challenged, because that's where you like really feel like, like everything we do in our life is like, it feels like a like button. I'm just like clicking, like, yep, that girl's ass, yep. Like, you're like, I'm not like in love with that girl, like, yep.
But you can appreciate a fucking nice movie.
And that's cool. So you're like, seeing a Minor Threat shirt, it's cool. Seeing whatever Joy Division things are cool, but show me something new. There's so much good new music and new content and culture and art. Let's talk about that shit. And like, I don't want to always go back like, yo, bro, like I grew up listening to Gorilla Biscuits. I didn't, to be honest. I didn't fucking listen to that shit. I didn't listen to Joy Division. I mean, I did eventually listen to Joy Division, but like my shit was the shit I listened at home, like in my local town. The band's there. So what if we create that local band feeling on a mainstream platform like Braindead and brought new artists to that world? But then to lure them in, then we work with bigger artists too that people can relate to, right? And then they're like, oh, this is sick. But then throw in some crazy shit too. Like the highs and lows is what Braindead's about. Like the name Braindead is so fucking dumb. That's the whole point. It's the dumbest name in the planet. But hopefully the whole point was that we elevate it with fine art and like really conceptual heady shit. And that was the whole point. It's a juxtaposition between high and low. You know what I mean? That's really what Braindead's about.
Fucking respect.
And I think a lot of the highs and the lows and a lot of your personal interests and that kind of trickle. If anyone wants to know what Braindead's going to get into, follow Kyle on Instagram. Whatever he gets into is eventually going to make its way to Braindead. And I think a lot of those things Lawrence and I are also into to varying degrees, like fishing. You're into fishing. We're into the aesthetics and idea of fishing, climbing, gorp. The one thing that you're really into that just goes way over my head, and maybe I don't know how Lawrence feels about it, but
we did it on my bachelor party. Yeah,
you love. I skipped that because we stayed up all night the night before. You love paintball, and I guess my question is like, what's the? And I'm genuinely asking because I went once as a kid and I fucking hated it. I got shot up by like a Vietnam vet. But like, what's the appeal of simulating war?
I mean, dude, it's not even war to me. It's like, it is just like this weird. I mean, I look at it more like you're shooting paint at each other. I think that's fucking weird. Like,
did you see it as a sport? You see it as a team sport?
No, I see it as like you're shooting high speed paint at each other, and like that is the most like extreme funny thing to do, right? And like.
It's a bit to you.
Bro, like, when I started playing, so the way it started was I did this TV show called Social Fabric.
Yes.
This is the funniest shit about it, is that, like, it was Mark Neary, Wire Boswell, and me on the show, and we're wearing suits, and we go to this paintball park, and I'm playing the owner, this guy named Bear DeGadio, and he's shooting. The whole thing's like, oh, he's going to kill us, right, or shoot us. And he brings this other dude, and I don't know who this other dude is. He's like in a mask and everything, and we play, whatever. We finish the shoot. And then the guy texted me, and he's like, yo, what's up, dude? Like, so nice playing. Let's play again. And it's this guy, Travis Mills. And Travis Mills, if you don't know, is like the Beats One Radio. He's like a producer. He's like friends with Little Pete. Yeah, he's a music producer. And he hit me up, and he's like, yo, let's paintball again. And then I'm like, sick. And then I hit him up, and he's like, yo, let's go paintball. Can you set me up for a package of gear? And he does, and I buy it, and he just like set up my whole gear, and I start paintballing, and then I got addicted, and then I can't stop. I play 3 times a week.
Are you good?
A week.
Yeah, you fired?
I feel like I'm pretty good now, and I mean, dude, we started releasing Braindead jerseys, so like I had like 20 dudes wearing Braindead jerseys at the park, and we're like the regulars. So like everyone's wearing Braindead jerseys. No one knows what the fuck Braindead is. Like they don't even know the brand. It's really funny, and we play the regulars, and we play paintball. So we have pump guns now, which is just like every shot you have to cock the gun and shoot one. And a lot of people shoot like electro guns. So it's like, it's all about skill now with us. And now I'm playing like stock class where you only have 10 balls, but we're playing against everyone. So like we're playing a very advanced form of paintball now. And we're super, like I just played a competition, and I think I suffered a concussion, honestly. And I'm really into it. Like I'm addicted. So like
you just have an addictive personality.
Yeah, like dude, honestly, so we're gonna release paintball goggles with this brand Push, which is like this guy Brian Benini, who created this video back in the day. You guys watch it. It's this paintball video called Push, which is like the definitive documentary. And they had like crazy, like early emo music, like Hot Water Music, like J-Tree did the soundtrack. Is so fire. Like if you want to talk about like heady shit, like, cinematic, like shot on film, like dudes paintballing, like with like backwards flat brimmed hats that are like yellow and like spiky hair and like
This is the heaviest shit I've ever heard of. So it is a niche paintball documentary shot on film, soundtracked by like early emo music.
shit. Like you would hear like a cursive song or something.
Wow.
And like,
Incredible.
dude, like, I mean, I knew all this shit. So that's what I'm trying to say is like, I hit up Brian Benini. No, his son knew Brain Dead. And then they hit me up on, I saw you like Push Paintball Follows Farm Tactics. And I'm like, yo, like, I hit him like, yo, Brian, like, I'm a big fan of Push. Like, I play a lot. It's like, I know, my son tells me. I'm like, yeah, dude, like, I want to do masks. And then he was like, yo, let's do it. So we have 4 different colors, 3 to 4 colors of paintball goggles coming out into the paintball market.
Fire.
So our goal is to actually bring Brain Dead gear into the paintball world because there is no like apparel company. And I'm just like, dude, why aren't we in paintball? Like, why is it like I made the hoppers, which are the loaders with all the balls. I made loaders with this guy Paintball DNA. So we have loaders that people buy off, you know, they just buy and they're like really into it. So we gifted a bunch of them and all the kids like, where can we buy the Brain Dead loaders? And they don't even know where it's like, it's not like a hype thing where it's like,
Right.
like, yo, Brain Dead streetwear. They're just like Brain Dead loaders. And it's funny because the people on my team who follow me, they really don't know what the fuck we do. So they'll just be like, yo, it's sick that you made those shoes. But they're not like hyped. Like, it's like, oh yeah, dude, like you did Converse, right? That's cool. That's cool. Like they don't even know really what's going on. And it's rad. And like all my dudes drive like crazy modded out like Subarus and like Ford Focuses and shit. It's so sick, dude. Like, I mean, dude, it's the life, bro. Like I play with like a 65-year-old man named Jack Awada, and he was like one of the original paintball dudes like from Hawaii, like playing stock class pump paintball. Like we're deep in the scene and it's the best shit. I spent, dude, speaking about not being broke anymore, I probably spent $30,000 on guns. Paintball markers, not guns. I'm like really scared of real guns, FYI. Like I'm really anti-guns. And like paintball guns to me are just like hot rods. They just look crazy. They're super goofy as fuck. But they're just like these weird things that they're like so tuned to shoot these balls of paint. Like this is more efficient to shoot this ball of paint. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like spending like $1,200 on this thing to shoot paint at another man or woman, whatever it is.
Sure, another person. Yeah, amazing.
But the aesthetics are really cool because they're baggy, like motocross pants, and like mad dudes have like funny ass like metal ball chain necklaces, and like that's the aesthetic, dude. They're still on it. It's like
it is very extreme motocross like.
It never
vibes.
left. That's what I'm trying to say. It never left. So all the dudes are like 50 with that aesthetic because that's where they came from.
Right. That's
it. Came back around
fire,
though.
dude. It's fire. I love it.
I mean,
this man spent $30,000 on paintball.
On markers. Give him a marker. You keep him in a marker locker.
But the craziest thing, dude, is like I was at a paintball place and I saw the APC Brain Dead collaboration tee on a dude. And I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. And I see him and he comes up to me. He's like, yo, you're Kyle, right? I'm like, yeah. And he was like, I know you guys. Like, oh, remind me, I used to play paintball, so I just came out again. I'm like, that's it. That's way cool.
That's why you do it. Yeah.
West wearing this shit. Like, that's fire. Sick. And he's like into climbing. He's like a really good climber, and he's like into like aquariums. He's like, yeah, I have an aquarium. Like I have mad aquarium equipment. I'm like, done. Like this guy's my guy. Like that's the dude. Like
we just become best friends.
Yeah, this guy's an elite living human being. Like that's like elite level, like extreme
elite human. Yeah,
a fellow Stoke, a fellow member of the Stokes.
Exactly.
Like that's what I want to hear. Is like, dude who's just like, yo, dude, like we're going to climb, then I'm gonna fucking snowboard, and then I'm gonna like take care of my like.
Aquarium. And then you can come back and we're going to check out my aquarium, dude.
You know what it is? It's like, you know, I think about like hardcore culture. It's like the hardcore dudes, they always have like sick comic book shit, or they had like sci-fi stuff. You know, they're like collecting comic books and then they listen to hardcore music and then they're like really into something else. But like that idea is so cool of just like being like a weird, like
cool nerd
niche person of just, cool nerd. It's like metal and hardcore is the nerdiest shit to me because it's just only dudes pretty much, which is funny. And it's like the funniest weird shit. but they're always in the nerdy stuff and like graffiti, like I hate my dad shit. And I love that stuff. And like they all play Magic the Gathering or Warhammer, and that combination of just like nerd culture, but like kind of tough and like more like like I just like that like shredding, like everything's like shredding or like vibing and like grooving. Like I got my Warhammer shit, I got my Magic cards, I got my fucking like
the nerd shit helps take the edge off the toxic masculinity, and then it's kind of like a sweet spot.
Yeah, and I can talk about like Magic like super normal. It's like I really can't relate to a lot of like the comic book nerd dudes, like the weird kawaii or like I don't understand like the Naruto anime guy really. Like I don't know it. Like I don't get it. Like I'm very more like heavy metal fucking like let's fucking listen to some like Sirith Ungol or some like Slayer and then just like blast it while I'm fucking playing Warhammer. You know what I mean? And I'm like, that's my vibe. It's not
Warhammer
like,
is a card game like Magic the Gathering.
No, I'm painting minutes, bro. Like I was like my girlfriend broke up with me. And then I was single. I dated this girl. We pretty much broke up because I was paintballing too much and painting Warhammer, which is, I'm like, fuck you. I don't need you. Like,
wait, what is Warhammer?
It's
Sorry,
the figurines. It's like Steve Carell and 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Got it.
It's like a tabletop strategy board game, but you buy these miniature like orcs with like fucking insane, like, they're like model kits. I like, imagine Gundam, but you're playing like a board game. It's like that. So like, I'm paying half the shit. You know, the girlfriend that broke up with me, we're back together, and she's super into Magic, which is awesome. And she's cool. She's like super into fashion. It's this girl, Alexis Q. She did a Nike campaign, but you never think she's into like Magic. And all my friends, like, they all date fucking models and they play Magic. It's like the most like elite.
Is that
like,
the real reason why there's a Brain Dead Magic collab? Because you're like, baby, if I land this, will you take me back?
Yeah,
girl.
I did this collab for you, baby.
I'm like holding up like all my mana cards, like take me back. I'm like,
I also love that all of your friends fuck models and play Magic. Like that's
they cast spells.
Bro, Magic's fire, dude. Like, I mean, Warhammer's maybe better now. The thing about too is like when you go to the shops, dude. You want to talk about real shops? Like, I go to the Warhammer shop. I'm like, yo, like I don't know how to play this game, and we're sitting there. I'm with my friend. Like Andrew, who's a photographer, he actually he works for Chrome Hearts, and he's like an amazing climber. And then my friend Jasper, who's Ground is Lava, we go to Glendale to the Warhammer shop. I'm like, we don't know anything about this game. The guy's like, all good, bro. What do you need to know? And he like breaks down the lore for me. He's like, yo, so like the Primaris is this, like the orcs are crazy, and the way they talk about it is like little hints like of a little too deep knowledge that you don't know. Like, yeah, like the orcs, like, you know, when they paint their fucking the ships, they go fast with the yellow because that's the orc mentality. Daka, daka, daka. No, they'll say like daka, daka. I'm like, what the fuck is daka, daka? Like, bro, like just tell me the game, man. Like, I'm good. But I'm like, that is real customer service. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for real.
Absolutely.
I'm like, I'm in. I bought like $500 worth of Warhammer shit off the bat. I'm like, yo, you sold me, bro. I call the shop now, like, what's up, Kyle? I'm like, how do you know that, dude? Like, they know me by name. They know me fucking just by voice now. Bro.
Again, Kyle, you are terrible with money, it seems like. But at least now you have somewhere you can spend it on your interests, which is the perfect segue into the second topic of this podcast, which is
transition god.
Money.
Ka-ching.
Money, baby.
So, you know, you've gone from flat broke to being able to spend fucking bands on markers and Warhammer. I guess the question on everyone's mind is, how much money do you make?
I make a lot of money, dude. No, I make a lot of money and then lose it all on paintball Warhammer.
Is that like what you spend all your money on? Is just like your hobbies, like just because you get so fucking deep into it? What's the most expensive hobby?
I never buy clothes anymore. I never buy clothes. We can't travel. I mean, the paintball shit's crazy, dude. It's just like we're on like eBay. It's like, oh, that gun's only $700. Done. Every week I buy a fucking paintball gun that's $700 plus, which is so fucked because I don't even play with. Like, dude, I bring 5 paintball guns every time I go. So
you're like a tennis player.
Yeah,
you got a quiver.
Like, I'm like checking the fucking So paintball is definitely really expensive. Warhammer is ungodly expensive. That's like. I'm like 5Gs deep in the hole for 2 months.
2 months? 2 months? Goddamn.
Yeah, and then I'll go into this idea of just like, yo, dude, like I need to, like, I'm looking at this like house right now. What if I got this like Memphis lamp? And then you're like, fuck. Like, you're just like, this sucks. And then your cat will pee on your bed. Like, fuck, real shit. And you buy a $2,000 mattress. They're like, then your fucking dog eats your cloud couch, and you're like, fuck, I'm broke because I just spent it on all these paintball guns, and then you're like, fucking hate your life, and then like you have too many packages from people giving you shoes, so then your landlord wants to kick you out, and you're like, where do I move? Like, buy a house? I'm broke. Like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, real world comes in, and then you have a girlfriend. It's like, what happened to me? And then you're like,
Kyle, I think you're spiraling, bro.
yeah. Now you made me realize. I was like so stoked, and then like real life kicked up.
Now you hate
broke
yourself.
the stoke.
I'm broken. I'm just like got a bunch of paintball guns and too many cats around.
Broke the stoke. Is there an amount of money though that like would sustain so that you'd be able to sustain all these hobbies?
Your lifestyle,
dude,
nuclear nerddom.
I'm not going into details, but I feel like I make really good money, but somehow I can just spend it all. Like,
so what's the amount of money that you think you could eventually attain where you're just like, all right, like I'm good? Because some people they're like, I want $1 billion. Other people are like, yo, I'm good with like 100K, and then like that's all I fucking need. Like, what is your?
I mean, I'm good. I'm fine.
Currently good.
I make money. Yeah, I mean, I save enough so I can live.
Yeah,
but I mean, I think the main thing. Yeah, I always think about every time. You know, when you're like a kid, you don't know. Like when we're like, I bought a house. Like you're like, wait, how did you have fucking $200,000 in the bank, bro? Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, I spent all my money. I'm like, and then you're like, oh yeah, you have rich parents, cool. But you know what I mean? It's really crazy because it's just like you wonder like how much do you guys really save? You know what I mean? And like, it's really hard to save in LA. I mean, you have to make like $250,000 up to even live comfortably in LA. You know what I mean? Or New York, wherever you are.
Yeah.
And it's either that or you're living with fucking 100 roommates or like, you live with your girlfriend or whatever. But it's a pretty crazy time. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I think there's just a huge wage gap that's crazy. I mean, to me, I believe there shouldn't be billionaires. And I believe like I live exactly the way I eat out every fucking night, like the best food in the world. You know what I mean? I spend a lot of money on food. I always buy my girl food, right? Like dinner, every meal, whatever.
You're a chivalrous guy.
No, I'm just saying like, you know what I mean? Like I pay for two people, right?
Yeah.
In that way. Like that's just the way I am. Like, cool. And I'm still fine, but you're just like, imagine if we had $1 billion.
How do you even spend $1 billion? Like,
that's what I'm saying. It's like, you're a fucking asshole. Like
Richard Pryor couldn't even spend $1 million.
To all the $1 billion, to all billionaires listening, you fucking.
I think if you have $500 million, you're an asshole. Let's just say that.
All right.
If you have $250 million, you're a fucking asshole. Because it's like if you think about that
unnecessary.
Right now, how are you not like, wait, so people are like starving right now? You know what I mean? You're just like, I just don't
Do they
get
know
it.
that?
Like,
Does not compute. Yeah, maybe they
it's
don't
like
know.
it's insane to me where you're like, even if I had like $20 million in the bank right now, I'd be like, wait, so if I gave like some of my favorite restaurants closed down, right? Like Beverly Soon Tofu closed down in Koreatown, which is like the most landmark Korean restaurant, in my opinion. And I'm like, how the fuck did that close down? Like there wasn't a billion, like, cause that doesn't take that much money, right? Like to like fund a restaurant to continue, right? You could just pay their salaries or whatever. And it's an investment. If you think it's good, make it better. How the fuck did that go down? Like if I had a lot of money, I mean, shit, Braindead probably should have done something about that, honestly. Like, no, because I mean, that's the idea with the theater.
Yeah, the
like,
blood's on your hands. I think that's what we're doing.
The blood's on my hands, dude. But I'm just saying, like, I would be down to do something like that if I had a lot of money. To be like, yo, I just buy that restaurant and just let it be what it is. Because I think, that's what, Quentin Tarantino did with the Beverly Cinema here. He did that, and now it's his theater. But I think if you have a lot of money, I think you got to figure out what the end goal is, right? What's your end fucking goal? Like, is it to be rich and like just die with your money?
He who dies with the most things. He who dies with the most things wins.
Yeah.
Can't take it with you.
You're not some Egyptian. You're not fucking Tutankhamun, bro. Like, you're gonna bring a bunch of those like mummified cats around you with like hoarding Bitcoin. Like, fucking lay it on. I don't know.
Bring this Bitcoin into the afterlife. Yeah, hodl into the afterlife.
Hodl till you die, bitch.
It's psycho to me. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Money's definitely like my dad made so much fucking money when I was younger. Like he was a mortgage broker, and he basically had the note on the Queen Mary here, and like he had all these buildings. He had a hotel in Reno. I mean, a nice hotel. Hotel in Reno sounds.
Yeah, I was gonna say
He has a hotel in Reno.
the nicest hotel in Reno, 2.5 stars.
No, but it was fire. It was a fire one. And then the thing about it was just like he lost it all because his family fucked him super hard, and they lost $700 million.
That's a lot of money to lose. God damn.
And it was broke. And it was funny because it was just like, I was a punk kid, so I was always like, fuck, I don't need money either way. But like at the end of the day, you're like, okay, so that's what money is. Like at any moment, it's gone, and it's fucked your whole relationship with all your family.
Yeah.
And it's done. And like you will never talk to your dad or your brother or like your mom. I don't talk to them. And you're like, what did that really do for you at the end of the day?
Yeah. What did that money really cost? What was the real cost? Which is clearly.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, you're just like, it just comes and goes. Like, so at the end of the day, money, like for me, like if I'm spending it on like paintball guns or whatever, these are the experiences that make me happy as of now. If I need to make money, just like Farm Tigers, I will figure out how to make money to survive. And then anything to make me more comfortable is great. But then it's also really important that you remember what got you to that level, right? Like, so it's like, yeah, maybe it's what Brain Dead. I can give back with the company. We can give underprivileged kids ways of climbing, or we can give, like we're doing this thing, Luminous Sound, that we did with Dev Hines for the Converse. We're going to start doing music programs for kids, underprivileged kids. And like, that's what's about, is like, as much as you give in, much as you get, you got to give back, dude. And that's not always money. It's time, or like concepts, or like, it's really fucking easy for us, dude. It's really fucking easy. Like all this has been super easy. Like that's what I'm trying to say. It's like the climbing,
just do it.
It's like, build a wall for kids, make it free, give them free memberships at the climbing gym in Long Beach. And the guys like,
kids,
you get what you give, baby.
Speaking of kids, whether privileged, underprivileged, there's only one way they come into this world, and that's fucking. Let's transition into the third and final topic of this podcast. Also, Kyle, forgot to mention, we're going to do a little bonus episode afterwards. Meats and cheeks. Sucking and fucking.
Sex and dating, dude. Yeah.
So you're into a million different scenes. And for the aspiring sex havers out there listening, what scene that you're into has the most attractive people involved in it?
Yeah.
Definitely not paintball.
Is it Magic the Gathering? Is it all the models playing Magic the Gathering?
The thing about the Magic the Gathering, like I feel like there's like definitely hot girls who play Magic the Gathering, but then there's like that there's this nerd girl who's like very hot, but then she always is about her cleavage. Like everything is just like some weird cleavage like corset, and then they always wear the mini schoolgirl skirts. Like is like like what is this look, bro? You look like a fucking Ren Fair like.
Is that not like how the women look in Magic the Gathering universe?
Yeah, big old titties.
No, man. Like, and they're all porn stars. Like, that. They all have like OnlyFans now. But
nice.
It's
nice of you to call them porn stars.
I mean, out of the scene, bro. Like, out of the scene. I mean, definitely like.
Are hot people climbing? Climbing people are in good shape, Like, is that hot?
Yeah, they're hot.
Are they grimy?
I think the climbing people, that's the sexiest scene.
Okay.
Sexiest.
All right.
That's the sexiest scene.
So if you're listening and you're at home and you're dry dick fucking nerd listening to a fashion podcast, go climb.
All right. Well, Chef just rejoined us, which is another perfect transition into, we're going to allow the Groms to unmute themselves. And in 60 Seconds of Thirst, they're going to ask you anything, pitch you on something. I know that they're brimming with enthusiasm. Chuck, since you've been here the whole time, why don't you go first? Chuck, you're on mute. Chuck,
you're on mute. Come on, bro. Act like you've been here before.
I knew what I was doing. I was thinking.
Screaming. Now you're screaming. So
I was thinking. So, Kyle, what I love about Brain Dead probably the most is just like the accessories and stuff. I get a lot of compliments on my sunglasses, but I was wondering specifically what was making like the skincare and the fragrances like, and like what made you want them to smell like that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a really big fan of fragrances and skincare. Like the idea of a scent is like storytelling in like the most weird, primordial, like primitive way, right? Like you're telling narratives of like scent that reminds you of an experience that's like telepathic, right? Like you could just like visualize something and you're like speaking upon an experience that you had with that scent.
A Proustian rush.
Yes.
So Klein, no limits.
So yeah, I think like that's why I like scents a lot. And I think that just went into the skincare and home goods. It's like, dude, again, like if it's every part of your life, which is Brain Dead, we should make every part of your life. Yeah.
Respect.
All right.
Yeah. And like, for me, it was like, okay, like what's the Brain Dead scent? We start off with some like sandalwood bullshit, which obviously smells good. Like that's like a go-to, like obvious, like, but that's the whole thing. It's like, cool. Like
What did it end up at?
Yeah, I don't even know.
Shroom Cola.
What?
Word?
Yeah.
So, I mean, basically we made it in Portland at this place, Mac Lab, and they pitched us a bunch of ideas. Like we gave them some ideas, and then it came back where I'm like, okay, well, let's drop everything, right? Wilson was actually there. We're sitting there in a lab, and I'm like, what do you guys got? And they bring out like all this.
Show
like,
me the good shit.
Like, what's the stinkiest shit? Because it's all about like the stink mixture. Like it just smelled like you like rub your finger in your ass and then sniff it. You all have done it. Don't fucking lie.
That real good duck butter.
Don't lie. Or like
I've done it
put your
6
finger-
times. I've done it 6 times during this pod.
Or
Yeah, just
smell
sit here.
smell your dog's ear. That's what I want to. I want to send it smells like your dog's ear, the inside of it, because they're rotting from inside. That's the scent. No, so they brought out like, oh, we have a scent of mushrooms. I'm like, okay, that sounds so gross, but yes.
Like
And then-
shroomies or just like regulars?
Boomers or
I don't even know, man. So it was a scent of a mushroom. I'm like, yeah, let's go from there. So then it was like sandalwood mushroom, and then they're like, wait, Kyle, we have the scent of cola. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then I smelled it. I'm like, this smells like Coca-Cola. It's insane. And like, what does that smell like? I can't even define it.
it smells like Coca-Cola. That's like
Smells
that's
like
right.
Coca-
That's
yeah,
all you
yeah.
can do. Yeah.
Fuck.
like-
No, but it doesn't smell like Coca. It smells like the taste of Coca-Cola, which is insane.
Smells like the taste. Damn. Okay.
And then when we're like, wait, okay, so Shroom Cola, done. Like it's done. Like we had the vision in our head. Kogan drew it, and we're like, okay, whatever this is, it's Shroom Cola.
Sick. All right. Tight. Thank you, Chuck.
Damn,
Kyle.
Chuck, great question.
Fire.
Chef,
Question.
30 seconds of thirst. You're up, buddy.
Yeah. How did you guys get involved with NTS, and how do you kind of like put the set list together for your shows, or do you plan it
Why do you
beforehand,
say
or do
that?
you just like fucking vibe like while you're on air?
Well, funny you say that. Great question. Hey, great question. You don't want to be like, oh, hey, thank you for that question.
Gold star.
It really was a great question. So this guy Fergus McDonald, he is now no
That's not a
longer.
real name.
He lives on like a farm, Little McDonald, which is
It's McDonald's farm.
McDonald's farm. Old McDonald's.
Yeah, he's old McDonald now because he's a kid. He used to work at NTS, and he was like, "Yo, like I love Brain Dead. Will you do a show?" And we're opening in. I think I kind of went to a British accent because he's actually British. Like,
Would you do a show?
Brain Dead to be on the show. And we're eating Burger Lords. He's like, "You want to be on a show?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're doing it in LA. Cool. 2-hour show. Let's go." I thought I was really smart. I'm like, I'm gonna do an all vinyl, like 2-hour show. After 3 years of this shit, doing all vinyl, it's fucking insane, dude.
Dude, yeah.
Not trying to not play the same track nor the same artist is insane. And the crazy thing about it is like it's all live, so I definitely have fucked up so many times where like I press like 45 speed and then I like just rifle a Sonic Youth song at 45. Insane sounding, and I'm like, I just have to write this out, dude. It sounds like shit. I'm writing this out. And
Doubling down.
Wait, are you
Whatever,
pulling all the vinyl from your own collection then? Like, do you?
it's all my own collection.
Damn,
so-
it's that big.
Yeah, I don't have a huge collection, but it's definitely big enough to try to do that.
Well, how many records do you own?
Thousands, I don't know.
Thousands. Okay.
But the next, so today I'm gonna plug the show because it's actually happening right now, or whenever this is planned. It's definitely not happening right now because
This comes out next Tuesday.
Yeah. So right now, Friday of December, whatever. Basically, I'm doing a rap metal show, a new metal, and basically it's only going to
Limp
be.
Bizkit?
There is a Limp Bizkit
Korn?
song, but I basically had
Wow.
Jeff Hines and Ethan Silverman of Terrible Records help me, where we basically just talk through the history and lore of new metal.
So it's like a
basically-
podcast about new metal.
Well, we're not. There's just sound bites because I don't know how to do this recording shit like
Okay.
you guys are doing. So basically, it's just sound bites from cell phone clips off like voice memo. Like Jeff Hines been like, Slipknot is they started by like whatever, and just playing songs, and me just like rambling about like 311 B-sides. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I think radio shows, like music shows, everyone always tries to like measure their dicks with the fucking songs and like
Yeah.
trying to be like the most obscure. But I'm like, dude, you know what? End of the day, when I'm hearing the record, I just want to fucking listen to some Limp Bizkit.
Like vibe.
Like
Yeah.
K-Rock's not playing Limp Bizkit no more. They're playing some like Glass Animals bullshit. I want to fucking hear some ripping, dude. Like
What a shred.
Like,
Yeah.
I've turned into like an inland. Like my girlfriend always like, dude, you're just Inland Empire. Like you're rocking. You know what I mean? Like you're wearing a like JT paintball hat.
A no fear T-shirt.
I'm literally wearing like, dude. I mean, look at this. It says "Fear Nothing Gear," and then most of the time I'm wearing some baggy ass jeans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like, oh no, I'm wearing like basketball shoes. Like I'm wearing like Reebok basketball shoes. It's like the most fucking gnarliest outfit. my speed shades, but it's like it just
Honestly.
feels right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right.
You're dressed like 9/11 never happened, and it's
Yes,
awesome.
facts. I mean, 9/11 killed paintball, and like I'm just trying to like
Terrible.
like I'm such a patriot.
Yeah,
that
right.
I'm
Exactly.
just trying to represent like like
Salute.
bring America back.
Mission
Bring
accomplished.
America back.
All right, Chef. Thank you for the question.
Thanks,
Kyle,
Chef.
real quick, we want to play Last John, Next John. What was the last John you copped at full retail? So no of that fucking free brain dead shit. And then what's the next John that you got your eye on? Yeah, I know you said you don't buy clothes anymore. You only buy like little figurines. But I know that you're going to buy some shit.
Wow, this really that's what my girlfriend said. All you do is buy figurines. I'm like,
Do I just sound like your girlfriend right now?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, it's funny because there's a girl I was like talking to, and she was just like, "Oh, cool action figures you have," and like they're Japanese kaiju. But it's like them calling me action figures. I like lost my shit. I was like, "Yeah, we're never talking again."
Yeah. This is not going to work.
So embarrassing.
Unfortunately,
I hate myself.
fucking
The Last John, full retail, no flow.
Yeah. Clothing,
God.
shoes, maybe accessories, but no fucking action figures, no fucking Warhammer orcs, no mana cards.
Really good question, dude. Hold on. I mean, a lot of vintage. Oh, a lot of vintage shit. You want to talk about is that? Cool. Not
Is it like
Yeah.
is it like T-shirts of stuff that you're into, or is it like referential pieces for brain dead cut?
I'm definitely buying a lot of Marvel shirts, but all you motherfuckers listening to this, because I know you're all listening to this shit, stop buying them all up, motherfuckers, because it's only us buying them, and then you're making them like $400, and then no one's gonna fucking have them. You're hoarding all of them, like motherfucker. You go to like Cerebro Vintage, like you're cool, man, but you have like 10 of the same Venom shirt. Let other people live, bro.
Let me get one of your 10 Venom shirts,
No,
bro.
but it's like, yo, why does it cost like $400 to get a fucking X-Force t-shirt, bro?
Yeah.
No one read X-Force. Like, I'm buying
You wasn't there.
because you didn't fucking read them, and I was on it because you weren't reading the shit. Like, I bought a Wetworks shirt for $125. Anyone name the guy who wrote Wetworks?
Jeff?
And it's pretty easy.
Fergus McDonald.
Yeah, Fergus McDonald wrote Wetworks.
Was it Wilson?
I brought a Savage Dragon shirt. Call me if you read Savage Dragon. Fuck you guys.
What's your phone number?
But I'm just saying right now, it's just like it's fucked up.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty pissed actually. I like it, like going on those Instagrams of like the guys who collect all the Marvel shit. They have them laid out.
Yeah. You want to kill them?
Fuck you guys. Like I can't look at it. It gives me anxiety.
So your next John is going to be a vintage Marvel shirt if you can find one for a good price.
Well, now I'm on the rollerblading shirts. As you see, this
Okay.
rollerblade. I mean, this shit's fire. I'm gonna reverse this shirt.
Yeah, please do. Well, this is just for us because we're not going to put the video out, so we appreciate it. Oh wow, that is gnarly.
And then I bought a Massimo shirt recently.
Oh shit, dude, Massimo.
was
That's
Massimo
throwback.
put one of the characters on him. That was sick.
Yeah.
I bought a lot of vintage paintball gear, like a lot of like. There's this company Renegade gear. I bought like a $200 Renegade set.
So what's next, John? What you got your eye
Yeah.
on?
So what's next?
Shit.
Just more
Buy
vintage?
some more- yeah, I only buy vintage, honestly.
Makes sense
Alright.
when you own a fucking
Oh,
gigantic.
I want to buy another pair of Ben Davis Gorilla Fits. That's
Big old
$1.
jeans.
Yeah, the big old pants.
Big old jeans.
Big old pants.
All right, Kyle,
Some blue
you're-
collar stolen valor. That's
Yeah,
nice. Okay.
Kyle, you're clearly a taste god, right? So what we want to do, we want to play Fuck With Not Fuck With.
Working title.
Still working on the title here. We're going to throw some categories at you real quick. You tell us what in those categories you're fucking with and what you're not fucking with. First up, we haven't really talked about sneakers. You know, we talked about the brain dead clogs you got on. You guys got the Converse collab. You got the Reebok collab. The video for the Reebok collab, by the way, gas. What sneakers are you currently fucking with?
Honestly, the companies that we talked about, like I love fucking Reeboks. Those dime Reeboks were great. the like Sean Kemp's because I we're actually talking about doing the Sean Kemp, and then like someone's doing it. I'm like, cool. Whoever's doing it, that's fire. Sean Kemp. The Sean Kemp Dime collab is one of my favorites ever.
Shout out Vince. Shout out Dime. Yeah, great collab. I got a pair.
Then, I love Reebok. I love Asics. We're going to do an Asics next year, FYI.
Is that breaking news? Oh,
breaking news.
Breaking news. What do you think of what Kiko is like coming in house and like basically kind of doing
Kiko's
his thing? You love that?
Kiko's the homie. We talk a lot. I mean, he's the homie for sure. So yeah,
he fucks with Brain Dead.
Yeah, he's the dude.
Sick.
Yeah,
who doesn't fuck with Brain Dead at this point?
I don't know. Kiko strikes me as like a very like galaxy brain, like not that he's like a super high fashion guy, but like that's cool to know that he like
for Brain Dead. I mean, we're just homies because we just like trolling. I mean, Michael Kolperman and him were really close or are really close, and we met through that and we just like kicked it off. So we're really close.
Are there any sneakers you're currently not fucking with? Like maybe something that's like way too overhyped, or you just don't get the hype around it?
Allbirds. I hate Allbirds.
Yes, as a
You
man
have
from the
both,
Bay,
brother.
Game, bro.
Are you going to cop the Jeff Staple Allbirds?
No, definitely not. I mean, the thing about Allbirds, it just looks like you just know what that looks like. You just know what they're listening to like OAR.
An algorithm designed that sneaker.
They're
and
listening
they're not
to
comfortable.
Guster. Yeah.
Me and Lawrence had to wear a pair each for a week. They are not
We
comfortable.
didn't have to. We decided to for our patrons, and the sizing is all fucked up. They suck.
Yeah, it's the perfect
That's
sneaker.
horrible, dude. That is the ugliest shoe in the game. I'm going to say it right now. Sorry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you have a Mount Rushmore? Do you have a Mount Rushmore sneakers just top 4 all time unranked?
Ooh.
I mean, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna probably like fuck this up, but Oakley Flesh.
Are those the
Oakley
slip-ons?
shoes, the sneakers are great. Yeah, all the sneakers are great from Oakley. Like
It's like the moccasin, right? You're talking about? Is that one?
No, I mean they have a slip-on one. Yeah, it's kind of like it looks like the water shoe. That's like one of the best shoes ever made, in my opinion.
I had a pair in 7th grade.
Nike Moab.
Loving it, Moab. Great.
I think actually the Charles Barkley Nike is one of my favorite shoes I've ever.
Okay.
And then I really am into I hate giving Nike all those, but yeah, those are fire. I think the Reebok fucking it's not really a sneaker, but I think the Beatnik is insane. I think that's like the most fire shoe.
You happy that that's having like a whole moment?
Yeah.
Well, how stoked were you? How stoked were you to do your own?
It's insane, dude. That was like one of my favorite shoes I've ever made. The pump, dude. I mean, pumps are hard to sell. I'll tell you that much. That didn't sell out for us, but I think the people who fuck with it, they look sick and they're just so futuristic. I don't know why people are so scared of it. It's like everyone's down for this, but I don't think it's like if we like spent a lot more time marketing, like, oh, the pump's fire, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just really push it. Maybe it could be really cool.
People. I think maybe like people see it. Obviously, there's nostalgia, but maybe it's too much of like a novelty, ironic thing to people because of like.
But I love it.
Toy built into the shoe. It's cool, but yeah.
What about music, Kyle? What music are you currently fucking with? Obviously, you own thousands and you're like a galaxy brain with music. But like, if you had to put on just a few people, who's it going to be?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just look at the Spotify playlist to be very upfront.
Besides 311, Limp Bizkit,
Korn.
You know what? Okay, so I'm really upset with this band Mind Force. That was like my top music of the year. They're on Triple B Records.
Jeff,
and they're like an amazing hardcore mixed metal band, which is fire. The new Mr. Bungle record was insane. It was like a demo tape they made in the 80s. It was the first record ever. But they put Dave Lombardo on it and the guy from Anthrax. That was fire. Helvetia or Helvetia. It's the dudes from Duster. And they did this cover of Hybrid Moments by Misfits, which is like my favorite song of the year. And I didn't realize it was the guys from Duster, which is one of my favorite bands. But I like it even more than Duster. All right.
Wow.
And then I mean Mount Kimby's like one of my favorite bands of all time, and I rollerblade with them all the time. But I've been hearing tracks that he's been working on, and it's just like incredible. Like the next record's going to blow you away. So that's insane.
What about music? What about music you're not fucking with?
Yeah,
like the new Taylor Swift. You fucking with the new Taylor Swift record today?
Yeah,
I haven't heard it. I mean, what am I not fucking with? Any song that goes that's like a Jim Beam commercial, like You know what I'm saying? Like the come on down. It's like something like Jim's Harbin whiskey.
Yeah.
Oh, down. You know what I'm saying?
We're all in this together.
That makes sense.
Truck commercial.
You know what I'm talking
The
about?
angel
Like,
share.
Yeah, of course.
Chase the rabbit. It's like only like alcohol commercials like have it. It's like hard seltzer. Or like, I don't know, mate. That like weird like post like Lumineers, but like tougher because they grew a beard kind of music. Like,
Right.
hey, like, oh, hey. Like,
I believe the genre is Etsy wedding music. Like anything that you hear at a
No, it's like
fucking-
Etsy. It's like Etsy bachelor
wedding.
party.
I definitely cannot
Yeah.
fuck with that shit at all. Like 0%.
Okay.
That was the most specific not fuck with we've ever had.
Yeah, for real, dude.
Let's move
You know what
into-
he likes and what he doesn't like.
Let's move into the final fuck with not fuck with topic, film and TV. I know this is you could go on for hours and hours and hours.
Bro.
Maybe just give the
Top
heads
level.
a few options to fucking binge
I'm just
watch.
gonna
this
say it
week.
right now. The best shit on TV right now is Alien Worlds, which is
Oh,
insane.
yeah.
That Netflix show is insane.
Are you into aliens and shit? Like, what do you think about the?
Okay, so that shit was. I mean, if you follow me on Instagram, which you don't, motherfucker.
I do. On my
yeah,
Yeah,
phone.
but you didn't. I'm roll off Ancient Aliens. This is like, that's my porn, bro. Like, I would have paid $100, like
to jerk off to it.
fucking jerk off all day to fucking
Ancient Aliens for sure.
Ancient Alien shit. But like,
Do you believe that they like built the pyramids and shit? Like, is there part of you that actually believes it, or it's just all entertainment from a
well, I
fictional
mean, the thing
standpoint?
about that's crazy is like it's like super funny and like people like talk shit on it, but then all the shit's coming true. Like,
Well,
I mean,
did
like,
you-
I
did
mean,
you
like
see-
the
did
New
you see
York
the guy?
Times, the new Israeli fucking
Yeah.
Dude,
The
Space
Intergalactic Federation, baby.
yeah, and the
Tom DeLonge from Blink 182.
Yeah,
That's
of the
just
foremost
fire, bro.
astronomer alive.
Bob Lazar's fire. I bought a little print from him, which is cool because like when you bought it, you could have it signed or not signed. I'm like, why would you not get this signed? Like that's like saying, hey, like do you want this food or I can take a shit in it? Like, which one do you want?
Okay, that's a fair comparison.
Want just that, or I just don't give you any food, or you starve.
So, Ancient Aliens is your number one shit of all time, for
No,
sure.
the best part about the show is they changed the fucking title credit scene where it's like, it used to be like, they say that ancient aliens existed. Now they're like, ancient aliens exist. And there's this part at the end of it where it's like, we are not alone. We were never alone. Like, it is like so like matter of fact, like we are not alone.
They're laying it on
Never
pretty
been
thick
alone.
as if it's actual science.
It's
Gaining
science.
confidence.
Facts now, bro. Like, they're just like, I mean,
Facts.
post-Trump world, people
Right.
just say where the fuck they want, dude. So
That's
it's just
fair.
like,
Yeah.
you're not alone. We've never.
This is the only podcast
Fuck
that
it.
matters.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ancient Aliens.
exactly. Yeah. I get that. It's, fucking
Lawrence.
speak your truth, right? I mean, what else are you watching, Kyle? Movies, TV, streaming.
Damn. I mean, I love Fargo. Fargo is really good. That fucking.
Do you like the
shit.
new season?
I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I like 3 and 1 and 2 better.
Right.
But I'm down.
Okay. I think people for the most part were disappointed.
Yo, you know what's funny? My girl's been watching The New Girl. I never watched it, but that show's fucking funny, dude.
New Girl, the comedy.
That's funny, dude.
Yeah. For a Fox fucking comedy, I think so. Yeah.
Schmitty.
Shout out the boys.
I'm
Who's
down.
that girl?
What are you not fucking with?
It's
That's maybe
just-
like everyone. Like, do you fuck with The Crown or Queen's Gambit?
Oh, Euphoria. I don't need to watch Euphoria, bro.
You don't want to see teenagers doing
Yeah.
drugs and having sex?
Yeah, it's like they're teens, bro. Why am I like watching this shit, bro? Like, like I'm like embarrassed to be like at school dance to be a chaperone, seeing people like dry hump each other with like little baby boners on a little short skirt. Like looking at a girl in a short skirt in middle school, like I should be arrested. Like,
Right.
why would I watch movies about me watching like
Because if you're
Zendaya fuck some dude? I don't even know.
if you're a pervert, then you
Yeah,
enjoy it. If you're
bro.
fucking Drake is an executive producer, he's known to love
known pervert,
very-
champagne
known
poppy.
pervert.
No.
Pervs,
Millie
dude.
Bobby Brown's homie.
They're all pervs, bro. I mean, I'm down. I mean, just the alien documentary shit, bro. Like that's all that matters.
That's all it is.
I'm a
All right, man.
YouTube guy now. I'm a YouTube dude.
You're watching paintball films, just like studying
Right.
game
I'm
tape.
watching.
push.
I'm watching ride design and like updates on different attractions happening in Orlando. So like the Velocicoaster at Disney World. Velocicoaster at Orlando's Universal Studios Great Adventure is
Yes.
opening up soon. So I'm watching videos of that opening, and then I'm also watching the opening of a few other rides I have my eyes on.
So you're keeping your eye on the ride game so that when Quar is officially over, like you're gonna know exactly what your hit list is gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like, mechanics, guys.
All right, Kyle, before we kick you the fuck out of here and get into the bonus content only available on patreon.com/throwingfits. Lawrence and I, we're fans of the brand. We're fans of the man. We're fans of this entire episode. That being said, we do want to offer up some constructive criticism that we think can really help you take Brain Dead and Kyle Ing, the human, to the next level, right? You're obviously already operating on Stoke level 4,000. We want to see you kick it up to 5 or 6. All right. So take it or leave it. First point of constructive criticism, I'll start. We share a love of rock climbing. How about, Supreme has their inline, they have their skate team. They have their inline skate team, which is just you. It's just you. Why doesn't Brain Dead fire up a climbing team and enlist Lawrence, who's a new convert, and myself to co-captain that motherfucker?
Yeah, we're available.
I'm down. Count me in.
We're pretty cheap too. I mean, we only need like $100,000 a year each. Yeah, it should be easy.
I mean, $250 so you can live comfortably.
Okay, thanks, man. We appreciate that. Okay, next piece of constructive criticism. Well, we are talking to you live from the Brain Dead movie theater, which is going to be this cultural hub that we've talked about extensively. And as far as the programming and the slate that you're putting together, what about live motherfucking podcasts, bro? Book us to do a live fucking pod at the
Come out here. We're ready for you guys.
What's capacity?
Right now? 0
million?
No, just like when it's at full capacity.
164.
We could do that. That's our sweet spot.
All
right. Yeah. Cool.
That's it.
Done.
Kyle, we talked about a brand that, again, I always think was way ahead of its time, and I still have hold near and dear to my heart. I have 3 pieces. Green climbing pants, a burgundy Bordeaux like barn coat, and a pullover. Revive Axis Folk Technology, bro. It's time. The world's ready. The world's ready.
That will not happen, but Brain Dead is doing more climbing stuff. Let's just say that. And more weird.
Go.
Perfect. And knowing that Brain Dead is about to do more climbing stuff, I would be remiss not to mention, Kyle, that my Brain Dead Friends and Family discount code, which gets me stuff for free, but I still have to pay for the shipping, it doesn't work anymore. So I'm going to need...
Why were you paying for... We got that fixed.
Okay, cool. I just throwing it out there. Awesome. Thanks, bud.
Got you, bro.
Hell yeah.
All right, Kyle, thank you for coming on to the only podcast that matters. Where can the kids follow you? Plug your shit. What do you want to say to the people?
Go off, King.
You can find me at We Are Brain Dead, and you can find me at Farm Tactics.
Twitter?
Instagram only, bro.
TikTok?
Nice. Okay, interesting. Yeah, TikTok?
No, I got to get on the TikTok shit, bro.
Yo, hire the Throwing Fits Creative Consulting Agency for all your TikTok needs.
Throwing Fits Creative Agency, LLC.
Kyle, thank you for coming on to Throwing Fits, the only podcast.
Thank you, guys.
Jeff, slap that motherfucking outro music, baby.
Now did you see me? I killed a man. They all stayed down, but he chose to stand. And girl, did it hit you deep? To watch his mind see across the pavement, beat down the slabs that meet each and every single one of your feet. That you will ever know the limitations of a clone. They kept me on my throne. The sealed space of time, call a little trace of slime. It's not here to appear for the tears, the mere hatred that flows through the years. The silent calm washed violent charm, held in the depths of a tyrant's palm. Expect the eye to lay by his side and bear with the sight of just another man's mind. I must mistake the high, cool these breaks, these stakes will lie. I was not born to be torn, I was born to be exposed in the storm and held warm. In the high heat of mother, sat by the feet of your lover, beat down to see one another. I dug through these graves to uncover a pile of bones mixed with violent tones. Forced through the earth with these silent drones. I'll see through time, evading the mimes. I'll breathe in time, another guy's side.